My dear brothers and sisters, there are moments in life when we look back and ask ourselves, why did I ever meet that person? Why did Allah allow someone into my life who caused me pain, disappointment, or confusion? Why did my heart become attached, only to be broken? These are questions that echo quietly in the hearts of many sincere believers. But reflect for a moment. Allah, the most wise, does nothing without purpose. Every meeting, every separation, every smile and every tear happens by His permission. Sometimes Allah allows us to meet the wrong people, not to punish us, but to teach us. Not to break us, but to shape us. Because had you not experienced what was wrong, how would you ever recognize what is right? You see, before Allah grants you clarity, He often grants you contrast. Before He blesses you with what you deserve, He shows you what you do not. Through those difficult encounters, Allah opens your eyes, strengthens your heart, and brings you closer to Him. And when you finally understand this, you realize that what you thought was a loss was actually a lesson. And what you thought was a delay was, in reality, divine protection. So never regret the people who walked in and walked out. They were part of the journey. And Allah, the one who guided them away, is the same one preparing something far better ahead. My dear brothers and sisters, one of the most profound realities of life is that not everyone who enters your story is meant to stay, yet everyone who enters your story has a purpose. Many of us struggle with this because we assume that if someone came into our lives, it must mean permanence. But Allah, in His infinite wisdom, sometimes allows people to pass through our life only long enough to teach us something we could not have learned otherwise. The wrong people often come before the right ones, because lessons must be learned before blessings can be appreciated. Imagine a heart that has never been tested. How would it recognize sincerity? How would it value loyalty? How would it understand mercy, patience, or self-respect? Sometimes Allah allows us to experience disappointment so that our hearts mature, our standards rise, and our reliance on Him becomes stronger than our reliance on people. When someone hurts you, betrays you, or leaves you confused, it is easy to ask, why me? But a believer learns to ask a deeper question. What is Allah teaching me through this? Perhaps He is teaching you boundaries. Perhaps He's teaching you not to lose yourself for the sake of pleasing others. Perhaps He is teaching you that your worth does not depend on how someone treats you. These lessons are priceless, and often they can only be learned through experience, not advice. Allah knows the future you cannot see. He knows the person He is preparing for you, the role you are meant to play, the level of emotional and spiritual strength required to sustain that blessing. If that blessing arrived too early, before you were ready, it might not last. So Allah prepares you first. Sometimes that preparation comes wrapped in difficulty, because ease does not always transform us the way hardship does. Think about how many times you look back and say, if that had worked out, I wouldn't be who I am today. The pain you once cried over becomes the wisdom you now live by. The tears that fell in sujood were not wasted. Allah collected them, replaced them with insight, and used them to guide your next steps. This is the mercy of Allah. He turns wounds into wisdom. The wrong people also teach us gratitude. When Allah eventually places the right people in your life, you appreciate them differently. You no longer take kindness for granted. You recognize effort, you value peace, and you thank Allah not just for what He gave you, but for what He removed from your life. Because you now understand that removal can be a form of mercy. It is also important to remember that meeting the wrong people does not mean you are a bad person or that Allah is displeased with you. Even the best of people were tested through others. Tests are not signs of abandonment, they are signs of attention. Allah is nurturing you, guiding you, and drawing you closer to Him through every experience. So when something ends and your heart feels heavy, do not rush to label it a failure. It may have succeeded in fulfilling its purpose. It came to teach you, to awaken you, to redirect you. And once the lesson was complete, Allah, out of His kindness, removed it from your path. Trust Allah's timing. Trust His choices. What He takes away is often saving you from what you cannot yet see. And what He prepares for you will arrive at the right time, with the right understanding, and with a heart that is finally ready to receive it. My dear brothers and sisters, there is a deep wisdom behind the lessons Allah places in our lives before He grants us the blessings we hope for. One of the greatest of these lessons is how pain refines the heart and sharpens the mind. When everything is comfortable, when people treat us well, when life flows smoothly, we rarely pause to reflect. We move forward assuming that every smile is sincere and every promise is true. But Allah knows that the believer must grow beyond appearances. And sometimes that growth only comes through difficulty. When you encounter the wrong people, they often expose parts of you that you did not even know existed. Your patience is tested, your emotions are stirred, and your values are challenged. In those moments, you discover who you truly are. You learn how you react under pressure, how you handle disappointment, and how strong your connection with Allah really is. These experiences strip away illusions and force clarity. And clarity is a gift that only comes after confusion. Pain has a way of slowing us down and making us reflect. It makes us question our choices, our intentions, and the direction we are heading. Through this reflection, Allah grants us discernment, the ability to see beyond words and into actions, beyond charm and into character. The wrong people teach you what red flags look like, not so that you become bitter or suspicious, but so that you become wise. Wisdom is not born from comfort. It is born from experience. Many people regret the past because they feel it wasted their time or their emotions. But nothing that brings you closer to understanding is ever wasted. Allah allows certain interactions to unfold so that you can recognize patterns, protect your heart, and make better decisions in the future. What once confused you now becomes a clear sign. What once hurt you now guides you away from harm. This is how Allah transforms pain into protection. Through these experiences, Allah also teaches you self-worth. When you are mistreated, ignored, or taken for granted, you are forced to confront how much you value yourself. Do you remain where you are not respected? Do you sacrifice your peace to keep others comfortable? Slowly, through these trials, Allah teaches you that your dignity matters, that your heart is an amanah, and that not everyone deserves access to it. This realization is powerful, and it prepares you to welcome healthy relationships when they arrive. Discernment also deepens your reliance on Allah. When people disappoint you, you learn that hearts change and promises fade, but Allah never fails. You begin to turn to Him more sincerely, seeking guidance before making decisions and peace when things fall apart. The wrong people push you toward the right source of comfort, the one who was always meant to be at the center of your life. And when Allah finally places the right people before you, you recognize them not because they are perfect, but because they bring peace, not chaos. You no longer chase intensity, you value stability. You no longer ignore your intuition, you respect it. You thank Allah for the lessons that taught you to see clearly, because without them, you may not have recognized the blessing standing in front of you. So never underestimate the value of what you learned through difficulty. Allah was not wasting your time, He was refining your heart, sharpening your vision, and preparing you for something better. And when you look back, you will realize that the pain was not meant to break you. It was meant to guide you. My dear brothers and sisters, one of the most subtle yet powerful reasons Allah allows us to encounter the wrong people is because through them, He shapes our inner character in ways comfort never could. Many of us assume that good character is simply something we have. But in reality, character is revealed and refined through pressure. When everything goes our way, patience, humility, and forgiveness remain hidden. It is only when we are tested by people who misunderstand us, hurt us, or treat us unfairly that these qualities are brought to the surface. When you are wronged, you are faced with a choice. You can respond with anger, resentment, and revenge, or you can rise above and respond with dignity, restraint, and trust in Allah. This moment of choice is not accidental. Allah is watching how you carry yourself when your heart is heavy. He is nurturing your soul, teaching you to control your ego, to guard your tongue, and to act in a way that pleases Him even when it is difficult. This is how character is built quietly, painfully, and sincerely. The wrong people in your life often mirror your weaknesses back to you. They show you where you are overly attached, where you compromise your values, or where you seek validation from creation instead of the Creator. These realizations can be uncomfortable, but they are necessary. Allah loves you too much to leave you unaware of what needs healing within you. Through these experiences, He gently and sometimes firmly invites you to grow. Hardship also softens the heart in ways ease cannot. When you have been hurt, you become more compassionate toward others who are struggling. You learn not to judge too quickly because you understand that everyone is carrying something unseen. The pain you endured becomes a bridge of empathy, allowing you to connect with people more sincerely. This softness of the heart is a blessing, not a weakness. And it is often born from tears, not laughter. At the same time, Allah teaches balance. He teaches you to be kind without being naive, forgiving without being foolish, and patient without being passive. These are not lessons learned overnight. They are developed through repeated experiences that push you to refine your responses. Each encounter polishes your soul a little more, removing arrogance, entitlement, and impulsiveness, and replacing them with wisdom and restraint. The wrong people also teach you humility. When plans fall apart and expectations are shattered, you realize how little control you truly have. You learn to surrender outcomes to Allah and to accept that not everything will happen the way you want. This surrender is not defeat, it is liberation. It frees you from the burden of controlling others and allows you to focus on controlling yourself, your intentions, and your actions. Through these tests, your relationship with Allah deepens. You begin to seek His help not just in times of ease, but in moments of confusion and heartbreak. You speak to Him more honestly, you make dua with more sincerity, and you rely on Him with greater trust. This closeness to Allah is one of the greatest outcomes of difficulty, and it often begins with being let down by people. So when Allah allows the wrong people to cross your path, understand that He is not neglecting you. He is refining you. He is shaping a heart that is stronger, softer, wiser, and more sincere. And when your character is aligned with what He loves, you become ready for blessings that require strength, patience, and faith to sustain. My dear brothers and sisters, one of the greatest wisdoms behind Allah allowing us to meet the wrong people is that it develops our ability to recognize truth by first exposing us to what is false. Human beings often learn not by instruction alone, but by contrast. You do not fully appreciate light until you have walked through darkness, and you do not truly value sincerity until you have experienced deception. Allah, in His mercy, allows this contrast to exist so that our understanding becomes deep, not superficial. When you first encounter people, it is easy to be impressed by appearances, kind words, charming behavior, confident promises. But not everything that shines is gold. Through disappointing experiences, Allah teaches you to look beyond what is said and to observe what is done. You begin to notice consistency, integrity, and effort. This awareness does not come from suspicion, it comes from wisdom gained through lived experience. Meeting the wrong people sharpens your intuition. You become more attentive to the signals Allah places in your heart. That uneasiness you once ignored, that hesitation you dismissed over time, you learn to respect it. Allah places signs both within you and around you, but discernment is required to recognize them. Sometimes discernment only develops after you overlook those signs once before. Contrast also teaches you what you truly need, not just what you desire. Before hardship, you may have thought that excitement, status, or attention were enough. After hardship, your priorities shift. You value peace over drama, honesty over charm, and stability over intensity. Allah uses contrast to realign your heart with what will truly bring you contentment. Through these experiences, Allah protects your future. The clarity you gain becomes a shield. You no longer rush blindly into situations. You pause, reflect, and seek guidance. This protection is subtle but powerful. It is Allah saving you from repeating the same pain in different forms. What once hurt you now warns you. And what once confused you now directs you. Contrast also strengthens your gratitude. When you finally encounter goodness, you recognize it immediately. You thank Allah not only for the presence of the right people, but for the absence of the wrong ones. You understand that every closed door was leading you toward a better opening. Gratitude born from understanding is deeper and more sincere than gratitude born from ease. It is important to remember that this clarity is not meant to harden your heart. It is meant to steady it. Allah does not want you to become cold or distant. He wants you to become grounded. You learn to open your heart with wisdom, to trust with balance, and to love without losing yourself. So when you reflect on those who disappointed you, do not dwell on bitterness. Reflect on what Allah taught you through them. The contrast was not there to harm you. It was there to guide you. And with every lesson learned, your vision becomes clearer, your heart stronger, and your path more aligned with the mercy and wisdom of Allah. My dear brothers and sisters, one of the most comforting truths for a believer to hold on to is that Allah's timing is never random and His delays are never neglect. When Allah allows you to meet the wrong people first, it is often because He is protecting you from receiving something too soon, before you are ready to carry it. What feels like a delay is sometimes Allah shielding you from harm you cannot yet see. Many of us believe that if something is good, it should come immediately. But Allah knows that blessings require responsibility. The right people in your life, those who bring peace, sincerity and stability, require emotional maturity, spiritual awareness, and clarity of intention. If such people were to enter your life before you had developed these qualities, you might not recognize their value or treat the blessing with the care it deserves. So Allah prepares you first. Divine delay is a form of mercy because it allows growth to take place quietly and thoroughly. Through wrong connections, failed expectations, and painful endings, Allah strengthens your patience. Patience is not passive waiting, it is active trust. It is learning to remain firm in faith while the heart longs for answers. Every time you restrain yourself from despair and choose reliance on Allah, your patience deepens, and with it, your readiness for what is to come. Allah also uses delay to redirect your dependence. When things do not work out with people, your heart slowly detaches from placing ultimate hope in creation. You begin to understand that no human can complete you or secure your peace. This realization is powerful. It purifies your intentions and aligns your heart with its true source of stability. By the time the right people arrive, you are no longer clinging, you are choosing with clarity. Sometimes Allah delays because what you are asking for needs time to be shaped. The people meant for you are also growing, learning, and being prepared. Just as you are being refined, they too are being molded by their own experiences. Allah aligns hearts with precision, and that alignment cannot be rushed. What is written for you will reach you, but it will arrive at the moment when it can flourish, not fracture. Divine delay also teaches contentment. You learn to find peace in the present, rather than postponing happiness for a future outcome. You begin to appreciate where you are, who you are becoming, and what Allah is doing within you. This contentment guards your heart from desperation and prevents you from settling for what is less than what Allah intends for you. When the right moment finally arrives, it feels different. There is calm instead of chaos, clarity instead of confusion. You look back and realize that if Allah had answered you earlier, you might have lost more than you gained. The delay was not denial. It was divine wisdom unfolding in layers you could not perceive at the time. So trust Allah when things do not happen according to your timeline. Trust Him when people leave, when plans fail, and when your heart feels tired from waiting. Allah is never late. He is preparing you, protecting you, and positioning you for something that will align with your growth, your faith, and your peace.